I'm meeting a bunch of new people and I don't want to be like, hi, here's my camera. What can I stack you on? It's what now? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. So I've been in Tokyo for 3 days now and I haven't been able to film a bunch just because it's been super crazy and hectic, and it's already hard enough to like pull everything out of my bag, let alone like the camera. So I thought I would just give an update about kind of what's been happening so far. So as you saw by the footage earlier, I woke up on Sunday morning and I think I woke up at 5 a.m. because I wanted to get to the airport by 6 because my flight was at 8. And I took the flight from DC to Georgia, and then I had an hour layover, but by the time I made it to the gate, we had already started boarding. So I took the flight from Georgia to Tokyo, and it took, I believe, 13 hours, and the flight went all right. The food was very interesting. Most of it I didn't even know what I was eating. It was weird colors, and what I thought was fruit ended up being meat, and it just, ugh, I did not like it. So then when we landed at Tokyo, we got off and we go to immigration to present our passports. And I couldn't figure out where the foreign passport line was. There were signs at first, but then they just kind of stopped. So I turned to this guy who looked like he would have spoken English, and I say like, oh, excuse me, do you know where the passports are for foreigners? And he just stared at me for a good like just 4 seconds in silence, and I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't speak English. And then all of a sudden he just answers, and I was like, dude, why are you being so weird? So I got in line, and it was weird because we kept zagging back and forth, but then the line took us back to the front. And we go and we scan our fingertips and we give them the passport. But then since mine is a student visa and I'm going to be here for longer than a visit, they had me go into the separate line. And I waited there, and they kept having us kind of like just move down the line. And all of a sudden they took me back to like the first place I was. And I scanned my fingers again. The guy's like, you're done. And I'm like, what's happening? So they ended up just putting me then to, I forget what it's called, but it's just a place right before customs. So I handed them my visa and they gave me my residency card. And then I went through and collected my bags at the baggage claim. And I have these I had these 2 big bags, and they weighed pretty much 50 pounds each. And then I had a duffel bag strapped across my shoulder and another like smaller carry-on. So I'm trying to like wheel the 2 big ones together. I have the smaller one in one hand, but it was just so bulky and like awkward to handle. So I'm like bumbling around. And then I go up to customs, and I had already gotten like the Yakon Shomei. And I told the guy that. And I was like, Yaku Shomei ga arimasu. And he took me over to the other counter, and they're like, oh, can we please see the medication? And I told them there's 11 in this bag because I had to bring over a year's worth, so I had 12 of them. I was like, there's 11 in this bag, and then there's 1 in my carry-on because I had to take it during the airplane. They weren't understanding. Mind you, I'm saying all this in Japanese, so I thought it was like lost in translation, I guess. It was rough. So they had me open up the bag, and they're trying to be helpful and like help me with it, but it's just making it awkward because like I'm just trying to put it down, and then they're trying to like grab over me to like do it for me, and I'm like, just let me do it, please. So I took all them out, and I'm trying to pull the other one out of my bag, and of course it's like, because it's strapped across my shoulder, and then there's all this other stuff on top. It was really hard. And then they're trying to figure out like the quantities because there's packages within the box itself. So I was like, yon, san, ichi, like total. And then they asked for the documentations, and when I had applied for the Yakon Shomei, they did it in the PDF form, so they sent it to me through the email, and I printed it out. Like, that was the original, And I had my actual, like, my American doctor's, like, prescription. She had written it out for me on 2 sheets, and then I had, like, the prescription I got from CVS when I picked it up. So I handed, like, all that to him, and he keeps looking at the yak on Show Me and being like, where's the original, where's the original? I'm like, this is it. Luckily, he, like, let me go through. It wasn't that big of a deal. He's just like, next time, like, I guess they wanted, like, the actual physical stamp, which is confusing them, because if that's what they need, I just don't understand why, like, the PDF is an option. But it was fine. So I went through customs, and then that's when it just went so poorly. So I ordered a little pocket Wi-Fi from iVideo prior to coming to Japan, because I, of course, just am influenced by all the other YouTubers who are in Japan. They're all like, iVideo, and it's the cheapest, because I looked into, like, Sekoto Mobile and iVideo, and, like, iVideo is, like, unlimited for, like, 30 bucks a month, and, like, Sekoto Mobile was, sure, you do get calling, but it's, like, 30 minutes a month, but then you only get, like, 7 gigs of data, and it's $40, so I figured I really don't make calls anyways, and if I absolutely need to, I can just use, they have landlines here. I'd read online about, like, directions of how to you pick it up at the post office, and I had read all these things, like, just go up the elevator, and, like, as soon as you get out of the elevator, it's, like, right there, or, like, very close, you'll see it. So I find the elevator. Mind you, I'm still with these gigantic bags, and they weigh so much. So first, to get to the elevator, there's, like, this, like, kind of ramp up, and I'm trying to push them, and they're so heavy, they're coming back down at me. So I, like, try to, like, shove the little one up this ramp really quick, and then push the other two, because I literally had to put my full weight behind it. And then the little one comes sliding back down, and, like, all these people were staring at me, and I felt so awkward. And finally I, like, lugged it all up. And then I'm on, I think it was the 4th floor, and that's kind of where, like, the mall is for, like, just general shopping. It's just a maze. It's just store after store after store after store. And I keep thinking I'm going the right way, because they do have maps, and I could, like, see the post office, and it says you're here. So I'm like, okay, I just have to go up. And so I went up with all the bags, and, like, there's so many people, and I kept accidentally, like, bumping into, like, carts and stuff. And I was like, sumimasen, sumimasen. It was so stressful. I've never sweat so much in my life. And I kept just going around and around. I couldn't find it. I don't know how, but I ended up finally finding this post office, but it might have only been, like, I don't know, like 8 minutes, but to me it felt like I was up there for half an hour. And then I go up to the counter, and that was no biggie. I just handed her my passport, and she got the little thing for me. I went down in the elevator, still no problem. I easily found the little meeting place for, like, where the Waseda students were supposed to wait for the bus to come pick us up. They have, like, a free limousine service for students. So I go up to the counter, and they find your name on a list, because there's 3 housing options, and depending on which one you're at, they, like, tag your bags. So they got little blue tags on mine, and then I find some other students, so we're all just kind of waiting together. I think we waited there for about a half an hour until the bus came, and then we got on the bus. It took, I'm not sure how long, like, if you were to put it into, like, Google Maps, like, how long it would actually take to just get from Narita Airport to Tokyo, specifically Shinjuku, which is where I'm at. But there was a lot of traffic going in, so I think we were on the bus for at least an hour. And at that point, it was, like, really raining hard outside, and it was pretty dark. So we get off the bus, and I thought I was in Nishiwasa this whole time, because if you look at, like, the address they give you, it says, like, our building name, and then Nishiwasada, and then, like, our room number and all that. But in my head, I'm just thinking Nishiwasada, Nishiwasada. So we got off this bus, and they're like, blue tags go this way, Nishiwasada go that way. And I'm like, okay, wait, like, I'm a blue tag, and I'm Nishiwasada. So I tell this girl, and she's like, oh, that's weird. They must have just tagged you wrong. Go with Nishiwasada. And this happened to another girl, too. So we were both, like, in this situation. So we thought, okay, like, no biggie. They just tagged us wrong. So we're walking through the rain with all this baggage. And the streets are pretty bumpy. So, like, and there's, like, the little, oh, what are they called? Not potholes. Drain covers, I guess. So we're bumping over everything, raining. I'm fine with rain, so I wasn't really worried about getting wet. It was more just because my laptop was like at the top of my bag and I was like, oh, is the water getting through? But we got to Waseda pretty fast, and they were like, here, just find your name on the wall and then it's gonna correspond to your shoebox. We're looking at like the name sheet, me and this other girl, and we're like, we're not on it. And the guy turns around and he's like, you said you were in Waseda, like joking, completely joking. And we're like, oh, we're so sorry, like I guess we were like blue tags, they got us right. And he's all like, wait, like what's your room number? And we're both like, we're in South Wing. And he's like, ah, wrong house, you're the wrong house. So he thankfully like was like willing to take us to the other house, and he's trying to like give us the umbrellas, but I'm like, bro, like I'm carrying 3 bags and another one, like I can't hold an umbrella and wheel at the same time. So we just ditched the umbrellas. So me, this other girl, and him going in the darkness in the rain to try to find the other housing. But like he didn't know exactly where he was, which is completely fine. So we're like going through all these side streets because it's a very residential neighborhood, and we just keep going up, and then we're like, no, wait, come back down, go this way, don't turn around. Like it was a mess. So after a while we finally get there, and they let us in. We take off our stuff, we take off our shoes, and they let us go up to our rooms. So I go to get in the elevator because I was on the 2nd floor, and I didn't realize like literally it's like one little staircase to the 2nd floor. I thought it was gonna be like the double, and I didn't want to carry all the bags. So I try to get in the elevator, and of course it's like, you're too heavy. So I push one bag out. It's still too heavy, the doors won't close. Even though clearly I like was under the weight limit, because I believe the elevator is supposed to carry like 140 kilos, and I'm not great with kilos, but I'm pretty sure you just double it to try to sort of double it to get pounds. So that's, let's just say 300 pounds is what that elevator holds. Maybe like, okay, my bags reach like 50 each, plus me. Like I guess like all of that could have equaled like 300 pounds, but then I even like pushed one of them out and it still wouldn't close. I pushed another one out. Finally it closes with like me and 2 other bags. We go up. I come back down. I just pushed them in my room, and then my RA was like watching the other ones for me, although they were completely safe, but he was just watching them for me. And then I come back down right away, and I try to grab both of the bags again, and it's like, you're still too heavy. So I push one out. So it's like me and this one little measly, it was like my little carry-on. Like clearly we were under the weight limit. And it like shuts, but it was like not wanting to. And then I finally go, I get the other bag. And then the girl who I was with, my friend, she gets in with all her stuff. Clothes, no problem. I'm like, oh geez, alright, well, just me and my heavy bags, I guess. They told us, oh, just come back down. We're having orientation, like a quick little, like, just go around the dorm orientation at 7. So I just threw my stuff down. I think it was like 6:40. And then I went back downstairs, and then 7, so RA just showed us like the kitchen and like the shower rooms and told us what the Wi-Fi was and stuff. And then the girl I was walking with earlier, me and her, we wanted to just go out and get like a few things and get some food and stuff. And then we ended up meeting this other boy, so all 3 of us went out. We went to like the 7-Eleven, and we picked up umbrellas because it was still raining, got like cash and like a few things of food. We came back and we were eating them. And then we met this other girl, and she wanted to go to Don Quijote and pick up, they all wanted towels. I was like the only one who had brought a towel with me. So like her group of friends, and then like the 3 of us all went to go find this Don Quijote. So we go, and there's 3 levels. So we go up, and the main things people were trying to find were obviously like the towels. I wanted hangers, like hand soap, shampoo, and quite a few of them wanted like cosmetics. So we go to the first floor, and it's like food. Or no, I mean that might have been the basement level. And then the first floor had, it kind of looked like bathroom supplies. So they had like little toothbrushes and toothpaste, but then they also had like some electronics. It was very weird. And then the 3rd floor had like hangers, cosmetics, shampoo, more electronics in the back, and that kind of stuff. So we're mainly up on the 3rd floor, and we're trying to like read all the katakana, which is still very hard for me because now that I'm in Japan, like, you see it everywhere, but back at UCSD when I'm taking classes, like, we really don't use katakana that much in class, because of course we're not really reading like daily items. We're more reading, I don't know, like stories, and then we're learning grammar. Like, it just doesn't come up that much. And then in addition to like remembering the characters, even if I can sound it out, like, I can't tell you how many times that like it'll be a word and I'll keep saying it and saying it and saying it. I'm like, what does this mean? And then finally I'll be like, oh, whatever it is. I can't think of an instance right now, but I'm sure those of you who read katakana know what I mean. So we're trying to find stuff, and this one boy really wanted hand soap and I needed some too. So I was trying to help him, and we just kept going like up and down and up and down. And then finally he asked like, where is it? And they said Nikai. So we go up and we're like, okay, we've spent most of our time up here. Like, where the heck is it? And we're looking, it's all shampoo. And then in the way we bottom, there's like 3 bottles, but most of them are just like those baggies, so they're like a refill. And he finally finds like 1, but he thought there was only 1. And like, he was nice enough. He was like, oh, like, you take it. Like, do you need it? I was like, bro, like, for one, like, you were the one who really needed in the first place. Like, I was just kind of tagging along. But then luckily there was like another one like way behind it, so I just like stuck my hand in the back and grabbed it. So we all checked out there, and then went back to the dorm. And then I kind of don't really know what we did after that. I think I might have just come up to the room, because at that point I think I'd been up for about like 30 hours straight. I had only slept on the plane for maybe, I don't know, like an hour total, but it was like kind of like broken up into like little tiny little 20-minute maybe sections. So really I didn't sleep, but I was still pretty like awake all throughout that. Like, it really hadn't hit me yet. I think because one, we were like flying toward the sun, so like the whole time it was bright on the plane, and then of course when you get there there's just so much to do. So I came back into my room and I tried to like pick it up a bit and put stuff away. Mainly I was just trying to fiddle around with like the mattress. I think I have footage for that. Okay, so ignore my hair. The humidity is just making it freeze. I'm trying to set up my bed though, and I'm so confused by these dang sheets. I've tried, and they're long enough for it, but then you'll see. Come on, please. There's no way. Forget it. Okay, no, we're trying it. Please. Please. Another thing. So I wanted to just rearrange my room, which there's not really much I could there's not a whole lot of ways I could reconfigure it. But then I realized, well, first it occurred to me because there's an outlet right here, like where the bed is. So I was like, okay, if I could just scoot the bed over a little bit so I can use the outlet for my phone. And I go to yank on it, and I'm like, okay, and there's a gap here too. Why can't I push it back? Anyways, it's bolted down because of the earthquakes. So then sure enough, I look over here at this cabinet, and I'm like, alright, I can probably move that. And then it's bolted. Which, thank you for the safety. But who puts an outlet there? Wasted space. It was a struggle, but I put the mattress together, and then I just kind of went to bed. And I had to figure out what time I had to wake up the next morning, because I had orientation for UCAP on the 11th, which was annoying because all the other exchange students who were here are like, oh, we just get like a free day tomorrow. But like, get used to the time change and just like fiddle around. But I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just wake up at 6 a.m. even though I think I went to bed at 1 a.m. So I got like 5 hours of sleep. but I was still like, I don't know, I was on like the high. So when I woke up the next morning, I was still like ready to go. I think I actually woke up at 5, or no, I woke up at 2, and I like forced myself to go back to sleep. And then I woke up at 5 and I was like, oh, like close enough. I was gonna wake up at 6, so I'll just be awake. I'll tell you guys, so that was like, let's say the 9th and the 10th. And then I'll tell you guys about September 11th on a separate vlog, probably, because this one's gonna be pretty long. Although, I think I'll still be wearing this because I'm just gonna record it all at the same time. But enjoy the next one.